Struggling to see results with your current marketing agency? Look no further than Power Media Solutions. Our PR and marketing services guarantee tangible results that elevate your brand. From strategic campaigns to targeted outreach, we tailor our approach to fit your needs. Power Media Solutions provides extensive marketing and public relations services to clients worldwide. Don't settle for mediocre results. Choose our customized results and schedule your consultation today at www.powermediasolutions.com. And let's power up your brand together.
This episode of Pulse of the Bluff podcast is proudly sponsored by Warren L. Houston, MSL, offering attorney-level wisdom and knowledge without the high attorney fees. Planning your future starts with the right team. Whether you need a will, a trust, or just expert guidance, Warren L. Houston makes it simple, affordable, and personal. Protect your legacy today. Call 346-217-0595 to schedule your consultation.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into something that sounds pretty tasty.
Yeah, we're looking at the 4th annual Holly Springs Food Truck Festival.
Right, happening Saturday, June 14th, 2025. That's in Holly Springs, Mississippi, down at Sam Coopwood Park.
Exactly. And we're going to cover, what's happening, why you might want to go, or maybe even why you'd want to be a vendor there.
Kind of give you the lowdown, whether you're just planning a day out or maybe you run a food truck yourself.
That's the plan. Give you a good feel for the event.
Okay, so let's get into it. The big promise is a day full of flavor, music, and unforgettable memories. Sounds good to me.
Definitely. And it's at Sam Coopwood Park. First thing to note, maybe, free venue parking.
Oh, that's always a plus. Makes things way easier, doesn't it?
It really does. Takes one bit of stress away. And, the fact that it's the 4th year.
Yeah, I noticed that. 4th year.
It suggests it's popular, right? That the community down there really likes it. June 14th feels like a good summer date for it.
So timing-wise, what are we looking at?
Okay, so the doors, they actually open at 12 p.m. noon. But the main festival runs 1 p.m. through to 8 p.m. Central Time, of course.
Gotcha. 1 to 8 p.m. That's a solid chunk of the day.
Yeah, full afternoon and evening, plenty of time to sample things.
And it seems like they really want people to settle in. They mention it's all ages, and kids 5 and under are free, which is great for families.
Absolutely. And they also say you can bring your own lawn chairs, even tents.
Oh, really? Tents too?
Yeah. So it sounds like they're going for that relaxed kind of picnic in the park vibe,
Yeah.
Set up your spot, hang out for a while.
Nice. Okay, so for people thinking about just going to eat and enjoy, what's the draw?
Well, the key phrase is a variety of food trucks. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Right. Variety. So not just one type of thing.
Exactly. You'd expect maybe some BBQ, maybe some sweet, maybe some tacos. Who knows? It's like a culinary tour without leaving the park. If you love trying different foods, this sounds like, heaven.
Yeah. Sounds ideal. You get to graze all afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Plus the live music they mentioned. Food and music. Classic combo.
Okay, now shifting gears a bit. What if you're listening and you actually have a food truck?
Ah, well, this could be really interesting for you then. Think about it. 4th year running.
Means it's established. Probably got a built-in crowd.
Precisely. And the whole event is about food. People are coming there specifically to eat delicious eats, as they put it. They're primed and ready.
That's a good point. You've got a captive audience that's literally there for what you offer.
And it's not just foodies, remember. With the music, the all-ages approach, the family-friendly stuff, you're reaching a pretty broad audience. Families, couples, groups of friends.
So it's a chance to connect directly with the Holly Springs community, potentially get some new fans, new regulars maybe.
Definitely. It seems like a solid opportunity for vendors. That phrase, a variety of food trucks, also suggests, they're looking for different options. Maybe there's space for your unique thing.
Right. So if you've got something cool and tasty, this seems like a good place to showcase it.
Worth looking into, for sure.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap the core details again for everyone.
Good idea.
It's the 4th annual Holly Springs Food Truck Festival.
Saturday, June 14th, 2025.
Main event runs 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. CDT, but you can get in starting at noon.
And it's all happening in Sam Coopwood Park in Holly Springs, Mississippi.
Free parking, remember.
Yeah.
Bring chairs, maybe even a small tent. Kids 5 and under get in free.
So yeah, if you're planning to attend, it sounds like a fantastic day out. Just picture it. Sunshine, hopefully, good music, amazing smells.
Just relaxing, trying some great food, making some summer memories. Sounds pretty perfect.
And for the potential vendors listening, seriously, think about it. An established festival, food-focused crowd, family atmosphere, it's a great platform.
Definitely seems like a prime spot to connect with customers.
So the final thought then, maybe for everyone listening, whether you see yourself
Yeah, what kind of unique flavor, what kind of unforgettable experience could you either find there or maybe even bring there yourself?
something to think about as you look forward to June 14th.
Memphis always has a story worth sharing, and that's where Pulse of the Bluff comes in. Tune in daily for real conversations, good vibes, and the heartbeat of the Bluff City. We bring you the people, places, and moments that make Memphis special. So whether you're a local or just love its spirit, hit subscribe and join us. Pulse of the Bluff, because there's always something good to talk about. See you in the next episode. Listen to Pulse on the Bluff on your favorite podcast platform and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Power Media Solutions, where your vision meets our expertise. Whether you're a small business looking to make a big impact or an established brand aiming to stay ahead, we've got the strategies to propel you forward. Visit our website at powermediasolutions.com or call us at 901-208-1176. That's 901-208-1176. Power Media Solutions. If you want it told, we are the ones to tell it.
All right, we are live with Power Media Solutions. I am Sharon Rooks. Hey, everybody. Oh, I'm loving this. I am loving this. We're going to have a good time this evening. Hopefully, our guest will be on shortly. I know that she was tied up in some meetings, but that's okay. Nevertheless, we will still have this live and talk. I'm so glad you guys are joining. Make sure you get out, send a message to let everybody know that we are live. Let's see here. This is going to be so fun. Tonight, we're going to be talking about how to sue your employer and when. The purpose of this podcast and show is to talk about issues that people don't want to talk about. We need to discuss things that are really hard and find out solutions and best practices. And so that's the purpose of the live. And hopefully we will have you guys submit questions and we will answer those questions as they become available. Going to give you guys a few more moments to get in. Jump on in here and let me know you're here. I received so many messages after I posted yesterday. Yeah. Know you are there. Send me a message. Let me know if you're tuning in and if you can see me and hear me. Okay. All right. All right, I'm working with these buttons tonight, y'all. Just bear with me. So tonight, again, we're going to be talking about how to sue your employer and best practices. My background is in public relations and marketing. Many of you know that. Also, background in HR. I did a lot of work with the federal government for a lot of years. And I learned a lot of stuff, whole lot of stuff. And I've seen a lot of things. And so 20% of my inquiries through Power Media Solutions involves employment issues. People needing resume development, they have possible discrimination issues, um, toxic work environment, and how to navigate through those things. And so it tends to take up a lot of time when you are trying to work with someone and assist them. And many times it drives people to start their own business because they have such a bad experience working in a corporate environment. And so that trauma is just so painful that they don't even want to go back into working for someone. And so that's really troubling. But tonight we're going to talk about things we should not do so that we don't get to that point. Y'all follow me? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to share a few case studies with you, and we're going to talk about what that looks like. And sometimes it can be the simplest thing, the smallest thing that will cause an employer to get caught up. And it just didn't happen that one time. We're going to talk about how it escalates and how it festers, and we get to that pivotal point where we're tied up in litigation and all of this kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about gaslighting and how that works, because many of you have seen it. You probably have experienced it. And so we're going to talk about those things tonight. And as soon as Crystal gets on, I know she was traveling. We're going to ask her some questions because her background is pivotal to this discussion as to why I wanted her on. She has the credentials and the credibility to answer these questions. And so I know that she wouldn't mind answering these questions. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, why would someone want to sue their employer, first of all? Why? Most people just don't get on a job and say, hey, I just want to sue you. I just want to do this. That's not how that happens. People just don't become a part of your organization and all of a sudden say, hey, I just want to sue. I remember back in the day when you worked for an employer and they treated you well. There was a level of loyalty and mutual respect in human resources. Let me use that word, mutual respect in human resources. Over time, things have changed. There's lack of mutual respect. And when the human resource entity does not, I'm not going to say don't understand, but when they lose sight of what the focus should be, that's how we get to how you sue your employer and win situations. Okay. So I can give you an example. You work for an organization 40 years. You've aged. They have a tendency to want to change your description, your duties, your roles, and your responsibilities because they really want you to retire, but they can't say, we want you to retire. You're up in age, you're just dated. They can't say those things to you because of the age discrimination. And so what will end up happening, you'll have the gaslighting method that starts. Rumors being put out that you're incompetent, you're slow, you can't keep up, just all things. And that rumor will continue to spread throughout the organization. And so any misstep that you have, it will be looked upon as if you're not capable. And so if you're in a leadership position and have and you oversee, one of the first things that happens is that your budget is affected, your money is pulled. It the powers to be try to make it very difficult for you to accomplish and stay on task. And so we're going to delve into that tonight. But that gaslighting is something else. And we have seen it even in the city of Memphis. It plays out in the media with a few people. And that's just a clear case of what happens when gaslighting is prevalent and permitted. And so you have to be careful. And the only thing I'm trying to share with you all is something has happened over the years where the human resource component is not what it used to be. And what I would like to share with any business owner, any organization, your company, your brand does not work without the people. So if you continue or allow people, your frontline people, because that's normally the ones who are doing stuff, your frontline people to harm, damage, micromanage, all of those things, if you allow these people to take hold of your vision and birth of your brand and cost you to be caught up in litigation, it's kind of your fault. You must oversee the people that work for you. Continuous training is always and should be top of mind for every single employer. So, prime example of a situation, another case study. Young man reached out to me a couple of weeks ago. He termed an individual, and the guy still had some of his tools or equipment. Well, the owner felt like he could garnish wages or not pay him. Well, according to the DOL, you can't do that. You have to pay the person. So that situation could have really turned out to be something even worse, because what if the employee had done some more research and found out that he had to pay him anyway? He could have quickly turned that and pivoted over to wanting to sue his employer, even though he was no longer there. So my recommendation for the business owner, you need to join the SHRM Memphis chapter today. Get your 1-year membership so that you can have access to HR professionals real time at your leisure to get assistance, because your lack of understanding of how to manage your business doesn't excuse the fact that you can and will be sued. Did y'all catch that? Okay. Your lack of understanding and preparation and protection does not excuse you from the fact that you can and will be sued. Oftentimes, when people are a part of an organization and they end up in litigation, it doesn't happen just like that. It's a buildup. Okay. And normally it's usually the same individual who's in leadership. And people know that they have this way about them. Most of them are very micromanage-y type people. And I'm going to stop right there. If you have that situation and you have someone who is micromanaging type of disposition, that comes from some insecurities from another place. I'm a firm believer that if I hire the person to do the task, I have to trust you and believe that I have made the right call. And if I am second guessing myself, then I need to examine what I did and how I measured and made that decision. And if I made a bad decision, I need to be accountable for that decision that I made. Okay? So let's go back. This person who's in leadership, they have a tendency or a pattern of writing people up for frivolous things. They have a huge turnover, under them. They may manage a staff of 40, 50, 100 people, but people just keep quitting and they just keep, something is wrong with that. And as a person who is C-suite level, VP, or however hierarchy you want to go, it is incumbent upon them to see or pull a report and say, something is not right. Why are we keep investing and spending all this money for recruitment and all of these things, and people are not staying, or they're staying for a short window of time? That's what this is about, okay? I hear all the time about people saying workforce, people don't want to work, workforce, people don't want to work. There are people who really want to work, and they want to work for a decent employer, and they want to be treated with mutual respect. However, you can't expect for someone to exchange time for money and you treat them like trash. You're bullying them. You're micromanaging. You're playing with their money. You're playing with their time. You want to prove their time. You cut money off from them. I mean, you do all of these tactics to create stress and trauma for someone who is bringing you income and revenue by working for you. That logic just doesn't make sense to me. And maybe I'm weird, but mutual respect at the end of the day, that's what it should be about. And when you lose that, that's when you get to how to sue your employer and win situations. Okay? So let's go back to the person again who is writing people up, putting people on PIPs, performance improvement plans, all of those kind of tactics and things like that. Well, that individual has a pattern of doing these things. So what eventually happens is the person that is being picked on starts experiencing trauma, calling in sick, headaches, stomach issues, anxiety. Some people I know have been in therapy. Some of them are still in therapy, and they are working at a job that is toxic. Well, Sharon, why don't they just leave? Well, they've invested about 25 years. And they're at a point now they feel like, and they believe in their mind, that it is best and advantageous for them to stay. They try to transfer and do all this other kind of stuff and get into another department and just do things, but nothing seems to work out because this person has the power over them to keep them and maintain that hold on them. That's how we get to a situation of how to sue your employer. And I am stressing to small businesses and organizations, you need to know what your people are doing. You should know what your people are doing and how they're treating the staff and the team and all of that. This is not a bashing situation here. It is not that. But what I want people to understand is oftentimes you don't give the employee an option other than to sue. That's the only voice can be heard. And so if you don't like that method or that pivoting or that road that they go down, you need to do something different in how you treat your people. I remember a few years ago, there was a survey that we had to do. Even when I worked for the federal government, I was a field supervisor. I started off at entry level, then I moved up to a field supervisor. And so when I had my evaluations, I had a team of 7 in the field. They had to evaluate me because we worked in close proximity. Then I had another evaluation from the area field director. That's 7 people. That's Donna. That makes that okay. That's 8 people. Then I had the regional director who had to evaluate me. And she was evaluating me based off of responses, interactions, email communications, timely reporting, and all of that. So I had all these levels of evaluations and reporting on my job performance and how I was leading and working with my team. And to this day, I kept all of my evaluations. I kept all of my evaluations when I was teaching school. I'm just that kind of nerdy chick like that, okay? Because I believe in operating with excellence. And again, operating with excellence is a thing you would think. But oftentimes, when you are on someone's job and you are very thorough, meticulous, and you perform and you stay on task, you can be targeted as well. Keep that in mind. Listen to what I just said. If you are a person who is thorough, meticulous, stays on task, and performs well, it used to be a time where you would move up and it was like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. We want this. This is it. This is love. Over time, that has changed. And I have witnessed it myself. What happens is a person who is your direct report, the person you directly report to, if that individual feels threatened by you, you will often become the target so that they can move you, release you. When I talk about HR and I talk about mutual respect, it's passionate for me. I am familiar with 2 violent situations that spurred out of HR. One situation, a person was termed without the counsel and support from a de-escalator in HR, which is what I am. Female decided that she was going to term this individual, and she knew what she was doing, and she was going to handle it. Well, she termed the man. She spoke really, really horrible to him, very condescending. It was all done all wrong. She missed a lot of steps. She got off work, driving her regular route, and someone was waiting for her at the red light and unloaded across her car. Didn't kill her, missed her. It shook her up. And it was that individual that she had talked to so bad. She learned a valuable lesson. Yes, he was arrested and all that other stuff took place. But the point of the story is mutual respect. Never, ever should an individual in the workplace be spoken to in a condescending manner, belittled, threatened, harassed. None of that. None of that. It is not healthy. And we know what cancer is. It's the same way with a toxic work environment. It's cancerous and it just spreads, and that's what happens. So, Not good. Not a good look. The other situation that that I'm familiar with, an individual was micromanaged in such a way it became to the form of bullying. And this individual was a female. She ended up committing suicide. That's the danger of not knowing and allowing your frontline people to do things to your people. That's a problem. When I am interviewing anyone, there are certain things I can't ask because they are illegal. I was conducting a consultation just last year with an individual, and he was saying things he shouldn't say. And I had to explain to him, you can't say that. You can't ask them. You can't do that. Well, he didn't like that too much. Needless to say, that organization suffered some financial woes and litigation issues because he didn't listen. But go figure. So I know a little bit about what I'm saying. I don't know a whole lot, but I know a little taste, just a little bit. Try to help some. So again, as we're talking about how to sue your employer and win situations, those are usually the situations that will be in the favor of an employee if the employer does not harness, train, educate, develop, understand the policies and procedures of that organization. When you get on the job, you should read the handbook thoroughly. And most people don't like to read. Point in case. The title of the show tonight is How to Sue Your Employer and Win. So people are going to think, oh my God, she's going to call names and she's going to call names of all these people and stuff that she sued and all this kind of stuff. No, it's not about that. No. Fear or retribution of any sort, but that's not what the basis of this is about. This is about trying to prepare people, employees, and the employer not to get in these situations. No employee wants to sue their employer. Think about it. They're there to receive money from you. In exchange, they're going to give you some time and you're going to give them some money. That is a mutual understanding, mutual respect. Somewhere in there it gets gray, it gets fuzzy when the communication gets off, when there's a fear of being threatened with, your position being threatened and you outperform your leader and all this kind of stuff. That's when it becomes gray and murky. And just because you own the business does not mean you can do and say whatever you want. Let me be clear. You cannot make up rules just because you wake up one morning, you put a rule and a policy in place. You can't do that. If my work day has been this to this, and this is what I signed when I started working for you, and this is the agreement and the understanding that I have, you can't come back and tell me that I now have to work every weekend. You can't do that. Be careful with that. I have been in so many investigations, inappropriate comments. You're in the locker room, you talk to the guys in the locker room. You can't do that kind of stuff in a corporate setting and talk like that around women and men. You can't do that. What you say out on the field when you're playing, you can't say that stuff in the workplace. And most of the time, and I'm just telling you what the numbers I've seen and the reports I've done in my 9-10 years of being in HR, most of the HR complaints and grievances are filed by women. Let that sink in. Most of them are filed by women. Why is that? I don't know. I can only assume, but I don't know. So that's something to think about. Most of the time, when a person feels they have no other recourse, they've gone to HR, and HR practitioners and professionals, we should not be discussing grievances, investigations with other employees, any person that is under investigation. You have to be a person who can be trusted and to conduct a real and thorough investigation. I'm not talking about this play stuff. I'm talking about a real investigation. Statement accounts, pulling videos, pulling audio, pulling key swipe cards, pulling reports, time cards and stuff. You have to do a thorough investigation. And when a person feels like you have not done that,